After spending over 30 days in one of the most underrated cities in South America, Lima, Peru, I want to share everything you need to know, like costs, where to stay, where to visit, and things to do. But first, let's start with where we stayed, which is Barranco, which is arguably one of the most beautiful areas in Lima, and for good reason. From the moment we arrived, it just felt comfortable. It feels inviting to foreigners, and yet the local culture also feels intact. When I say I love Lima, I gotta admit that we spent most of our time in this area, and that does impact our perspective. There are three major areas of Lima that are popular for tourists, and those are Barranco, Miraflores, and San Isidro. And this can kind of be a little bit of annoyance for locals. On my last video, they mentioned that there are other areas that are just as beautiful, just as safe, like San Borja and Magdalena del Mar. And I'm really sorry to say that we didn't make the time to visit those areas, but that is something to be aware of. The area we're staying, it is an overly popular area for tourists. But that said, we got a very nice apartment near to the main plaza in Barranco for around $1,000 a month. Obviously, if you're renting directly and long-term, then that price comes down. But Airbnb in the popular areas does typically start above that price. Our building was kind of loud. There was a lot of like partying and things like that, but maybe I'm just getting old. Overall, it was one of those places that after a week, we were like, we could stay here a lot longer. One thing that makes Lima and these particular areas of Lima so special is that they're right on the coast. Lima has a beautiful coastline. It's essentially a cliff from the city, then they have like staircases and pathways that go to the beach, and that's such a beautiful contrast. And then one thing that's also really interesting is that the view to the beach is accessible to everyone. There's pathways, there's walkways, there's parks. It's not overtaken by tall buildings that don't give you the access to the view. It's a very active and lively city. There are tons of run groups. I went on a few runs myself, going far south from Barranco and then all the way up to San Isidro, running across the coast. And it's honestly one of the most beautiful places to go for a run from the cliffside view. And it's also beautiful from the coast. We experience both. These areas feel very well kept. There's not a lot of trash. There's people cleaning up. Barranco has a nice beach that's sandy. Some of the other beaches, they get kind of rocky, but it's also kind of comforting and nice. We saw people sitting there. We even spent an evening sitting there ourselves, and it was very nice. It gets very foggy, but I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. There's sun at some parts of the day and fog at other days. I think it's kind of cool. Now, we did eventually make time to see other areas of the city. We visited the Historical Center, which you must visit. The architecture there is truly mesmerizing. Just walking around, taking in the views, and there's also different museums and things that you can walk into and visit. There's a very historical church and other toured activities there as well that we didn't get the opportunity to do, but there's plenty to explore within that historical center. From there, we actually walked to Chinatown. There's actually a significant Chinese population within Peru historically who came here for work. And because of that, you will find a lot of Chinese food. It wasn't the most interesting Chinatown I've been to be honest, but it can be worth a visit if you want to do some shopping or eat some Chinese food. From there, we continued walking, and we even passed some local street markets and even walked through some areas that looked a little rougher, like the kind of areas that I wouldn't necessarily want to walk through at night, but at the same time, at no point did we feel unsafe. People seem friendly, they're doing their own things. In general, I have found Peruvian people across the board to be some of the most cordial, polite, and friendly people. There is one significant challenge that I must mention here, which is being a pedestrian in Lima is not the best experience. There are pedestrian crossways, but the cars don't really pay attention, and they'll kind of be aggressive, and people, even locals, are hesitant to pass the road. I'm a little crazy and aggressive, so I'll just pass as long as the driver has time to stop. People will stop if you don't give them another option, but it's not for everyone. I was on the look for a vegan place that I'd seen really good reviews from, and it was like inside of this market on the top floor of this parking lot, very unusual location, but some of the best food I ever had. I think that place was around $6 or $7, which on the topic of food and cost for food, I would say you can spend as little or as much as you want. You can eat at very nice places and spend, $100 or more, or you can eat at very budget places and spend far less. We also went to a sushi place in Barranco, which had a vegan menu and a regular menu, and that was around like 15 each, so it came out to like 30. I think that's kind of like the general range, and then you can eat at more expensive places that can cost significantly more than that. Peru is known for its food worldwide. It's known for its gastronomy worldwide. So this is a place to eat. And I think at whatever price point you're paying, you're going to get really good quality food. Exposición Park was also a really cool place to see. They have other museums there. Again, in those areas, really beautiful architecture, really beautiful structures, and the parks are really beautiful and full of life. I highly recommend exploring. And after that, we ran into the street K-pop fair, which was cool. We also did a few more activities as part of a day trip that we booked through Get Your Guide. I'll leave the link down below. We went to Paracas and then the Ballestas Islands. It's supposed to have penguins. There weren't penguins when we were there, but there were sea lions, and it's just like really gorgeous views. We went to Pisco, famous for Pisco, which is the drink. There was some food and some Pisco tasting. And then after that, we went to Huacachina. There's desert and there's dune buggies and there's sandboarding. And I didn't even know sandboarding was a thing. It's scary, but it's really fun and everyone had a really great time. So highly recommend sandboarding in Huacachina if you get that chance to do that. There's also tons of more experiences. There's swimming with sea lions, which would have been really cool to do. And there's also paraplanes, which are these planes that go above. I really wanted to do that, but just didn't make the time for it. We travel full time, just getting some editing and stuff done. There was a library at Barranco that was really nice. There were like really nice coffee shops. There was one nearby our place, and then there was another one called Co Cafe. It has kind of that co-working environment. That said, Lima is a city and Peru is a country that we absolutely want to return to and experience more of. If you get the chance to visit Lima, do it. Spend a month there. Spend longer, enjoy it. Also, fun fact, this is not Lima, we're actually now in Quito. After Lima, we flew to Ecuador, and that's where I'm filming this from. So there'll be a video in Quito as well soon. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, peace.